Hello dear friends, welcome to our English lesson. I hope you are all fine and follow our lessons regularly. As you see, I have so many in my hands. Why? Because we are on the eve of Nowruz celebrations. That's why I wanted to congratulate you on Nowruz occasion, on Nowruz holiday. I want to wish you many happy returns of the day. Let everything be wonderful, gorgeous, and beautiful in your life. Happy Nowruz holiday. And now, dear friends, let's start to learn interesting and at the same time useful things. Today we will take lesson 3, movies in our life, from unit 7, fame. As you see from the name of our today's lesson, we will speak about movies, about films. What do you think about movies? What do you know about them? Why all these films became blockbusters? What features make them blockbusters? Dear friends, I want you to investigate these questions and find out interesting answers about this theme. I know that most of you know these scenes of the films. You know the names of these films. Also, I'm sure that you watched all of them. Maybe the heroes, maybe the scenery, maybe the music, maybe the performers, everything can influence us. Why? Because watching films, we feel different emotions. We can be sad, we can be happy. Sometimes films can make us even laugh. So they can affect us, they can influence us very much. That's why I advise you to watch films with positive emotions in order to be happy after watching films. Dear friends, let's watch some scenes of the film Arshın Malalan by Üzeyir Hacıbeyli that were performed by our students. Enjoy watching, dear friends.
Ladies, this is Arshın the peddler. Why are you standing there like frozen? Come and show us, what have you brought?
Beautiful ladies, please close. I have it all. What would you like?
If you come next time, bring some silk.
I will, I definitely will. How much Arshın would like? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Enough. 10 Arshın, please.
Come. Welcome, dear wife. How are you, Sultan Bey?
Oh dear Mashadi, here aches, there aches. I didn't sleep last night.
You should get married, Bey.
Wedding, I'm too old, and wedding is too expensive.
No, 3 manats, 1 piece of sugar, 1 mola, that's all.
Golden words, 3 minutes, 1 piece of sugar, and 1 mola.
Gülçehre, my dear, he's so handsome. I swear I'm falling in love. Look how my heart beats.
Oh, Asya.
Love changes someone's mood.
Yes, it's true.
My dear daughter, I want you to get married.
Dad, it's time for me to marry.
What? I have already promised Süleyman Bey.
No, dear Dad, I don't want to get married.
What? How can you argue with me?
My uncle knows what's doing. He wants the best for you.
Yes, he's a merchant, young, rich, and smart.
No, dear Dad, I don't want to get married. I want to get married Arshın the peddler.
What? It's impossible. I have already promised Süleyman Bey.
Dear friends, I hope this film was interesting and entertaining for you. And now let's continue with our exercises. Exercise number 2, match the words to their definitions. The words are given: nominated, genre, star, part, critic, premiere, animated film. And according to the definition, let's find the correct words. So, the first is someone whose job is to review films for a newspaper or TV program. What can it be according to these words? Of course, this is critic. A role, character played by an actor or actress. Of course, part. A cartoon-like film which uses drawings and not real people. Animated film, yes. You are quite right. The most important famous actor or actress in a film. Star. A category or type of film. Example, action. What can it be? Of course, genre. Selected to be on a short list for a prize. Nominated. The first showing of a film. What can it be? Of course, premiere. Well done, children. Thanks. Dear friends, we have an interesting exercise on the page number 114, exercise number 3. And you can see a table and also 3 different paragraphs about these 3 famous actors. The actors are Fakhrettin Manafov, Angelina Jolie, and Jason Statham. So, in your book, the information about these 3 actors is given, and I want you to read them and find out necessary information and write down to the certain columns. For example, name, age, country, films, roles, and awards. This exercise is up to you. I know that if you do your best, of course you will be able to do this exercise well. Dear friends, we continue with our grammatical material, relative pronouns. I know that you know something about relative pronouns because you have learned this material in the 7th grade. But now I want to revise, to remember how can we use these relative pronouns and where can we use them. So, relative pronouns are who, whose, which, and that. Who refers to people, whose refers to people and things, which refers to things, and that refers to people and things. And if you confuse, and if you are not sure which one to use, for example, who or which, you can use that in order to write who or which. You can replace them with that. Let's use some of them in the sentence. For example, the girl who is standing there is my sister. Or the book that is on the table is not mine. I want you to revise this material and to use these relative pronouns in different types of sentences. But during today's lesson, we will do this exercise dealing with relative pronouns. Complete the sentences using the relative pronouns. So let's revise again, dear friends. Relative pronouns are who, which, that, whom, and whose. Let's write correct relative pronouns to the correct places. First sentence is Üzeyir Hacıbeyli is a great playwright, composer, and musician, made the world-famous film Arshım Malavan. Which one is correct? Let's think who, which, that, which one. Of course, we speak about the person. That's why we should write who. Of course, we can write that also. Golden Gate is the most famous bridge was built in San Francisco. We speak about the bridge. This is a thing. That's why we should write which. Of course, dear friends, you are quite right. We also can write that. Walt Disney was a great cartoonist, produced a series of classics. We speak about Walt Disney. This is a person. That's why we should write, of course, who. Who, of course, we can write also that. A dictionary is a book, gives people the meaning and the translation of the words. So, which relative pronoun is correct here? A dictionary is a book. The book, so of course, which. Of course, we can write also that. Let's continue with the 5th one. Ceyhun plays Ismail in the Azerbaijani film The Stepmother, performed an unforgettable role. Ceyhun, of course, we should write who, because Ceyhun is a person. Ceyhun, who plays Ismail in the Azerbaijani film The Stepmother, performed an unforgettable role. Charlie Chaplin was an actor the scenarists trust very much. Charlie Chaplin is a person, but we can't write who, because here we have the scenarists trusted. According to this part, we should write whom. So, Charlie Chaplin was an actor whom the scenarists trusted very much. A columnist is a person who writes articles for a newspaper or a magazine. Columnist is a person. Of course, we should write who or that writes articles for a newspaper or a magazine. Anar is an Azerbaijani writer. Book, the 6th floor of the 5-story house was turned into the movie. Which one is correct? Anar is the Azerbaijani writer. According to the name of the book, we should write whose book. Yes, whose book. So the sentence is, Anar is the Azerbaijani writer whose book, the 6th floor of the 5-story house, was turned into the movie. Well done, children. Thanks. Dear friends, we continue with our reading part. Let's read interesting text about the ship Titanic. I know that most of you watched the unforgettable film The Titanic. And now let's read about the Titanic. The Titanic was the most magnificent ship. It had luxuries and all comfort, electric light and heat, electric elevators, a swimming pool, a Turkish bath, libraries, etc. Most of the passengers were immigrants who were coming to America in the hope of a better life. The Titanic began to cross the Atlantic Ocean on April 10. Nobody on the ship realized how much danger the ship was in. On April 14 at 11:40 p.m. an iceberg was seen straight ahead. The captain tried to change the direction of his ship, but he couldn't because the Titanic was moving too fast and it was too big. Suddenly it hit the iceberg and started sinking. The Titanic had originally 32 lifeboats. While the ship was sinking, some people managed to get on lifeboats. By the time the rest of the passengers came up from their cabins, most of the lifeboats had left. Several hours later, another ship arrived to help, but the Titanic had already gone down, although it was called unsinkable. Dear friends, I want you to read this text again and pay attention to the information given here. And now let's do this exercise dealing with our text. Find the halves. Before the Titanic hit the iceberg, when the people got on the lifeboats, by the time the other passengers came out from their cabins, the Titanic had luxuries when the ship arrived to help. And here are the rest one. The lifeboats had left. The rescue ship hadn't arrived yet. The captain tried to turn the ship around. The Titanic had already sunk that other ships had never had before. And now let's do this exercise. Before the Titanic hit the iceberg, the captain tried to turn the ship around. When the people got on the lifeboats, which one is correct? The rescue ship hadn't arrived yet. By the time the other passengers came out from their cabins, which one is correct? Yes, the lifeboats had left. The Titanic had luxuries. We have just two variants. Which one? Please help me. Of course, that other ships had never had before. When the ship arrived to help, the Titanic had already sunk. Well done, children. Thanks. Dear friends, assignment. Role play the following situation. Imagine that you survived when the Titanic sank. Tell your friend what happened then. I want you to imagine this situation and write a small essay about this event, about this happening. I have already completed my today's lesson. I hope this lesson was useful and interesting for you. Please, dear friends, take care of yourself and your family members and see you next lesson. Bye!